Hey, buddy.
Oh, there's bats.
I went a little creepy with our backdrop this week. Yesterday was the first day of fall, you know.
Well, yesterday was your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Kelly.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for your nice post too. That was very
Well,
kind.
now you know why I'm a
I didn't
drummer.
even get to see all of them. I didn't even I couldn't keep up, so I had to go back and look at all of them. So, thank you for your kind post.
You know, yeah, I can't sing, so yeah, I'm seeing Robin on there.
Hi, Robin.
Boy, she's had some.
Thank you, John.
Robin's had some real amazing anomalies lately at her house. Like, golly, like twin little globulating orbs that go, and then, I mean, she's got like, golly, she has like a portal of portals because they just come right out of the wall and then they dance around. And she's also recorded things where they're like, hello, Robin. Hi, Robin.
Robin doesn't know this, but we're all going to road trip to her house.
Yeah, I will tell you, I've been to houses, I mean, almost far and wide, all the way up to way up in the East Coast, like, geez. And then obviously down south, even one in Mexico that I was at. But gee whiz, she's had some stuff there that's just really interesting.
Well, speaking of interesting, we have two really interesting guests on this evening. One I'm really excited to talk to because we've just corresponded by text coordination of the show. Patrick, I haven't actually gotten to talk with him too much yet, so I'm excited about that. And Flip, of course, I'm always excited to talk to as one of our longest, time paranormal friends and family members. But we have a lot of really great updates from them because we're venturing south, not your south, all the way to Texas, but
yeah.
He's weighing in when he's supposed to be backstage, everyone. This is what the chaos is like, herding cats. All right. So, but anyhow, I'm very happy that they can both join us tonight and hopefully share with us some insights about what's happening event-wise down south.
Oh, man. Yeah. Especially where they're kind of located at.
Yeah, for sure.
Gee whiz. I mean, I'm ready to hear it. So let's folks, let's bring these two aboard. Welcome aboard the Talking to. Oh, they're just like that. It's magic. They appear.
Hi, guys.
Why is he muted?
You're muted. You're muted.
And he changed his name again.
Yeah, there he did.
Oh man.
There we go. Cool. Now we got
you. All right.
Welcome.
Hey. Patrick, you have not been on the show so far. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Just introduce yourself, and then who you are real quick, and so everyone will know.
Yeah, my name's Patrick. Flip is my son. But my name's Patrick. Born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a Russian Irishman. My family came over. They got a hold of some bad potatoes and decided to come over to America. I've been investigating over 25 years, but most recently I kind of put together a team about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And we travel all over, it's fun. We like to help families out there that call us. probably get about 5 or 6 calls a week.
Ooh.
It used to be a lot more than that, but now it's kind of died down. But some of them are pretty legit, and some of them just you can tell it's I don't know, prank calls or whatever. I got a few of those that I say that's pretty funny, but
He's got some heavy breathing calls too. Those are from me.
yeah, oh yeah. But that's about it. I mean, played a lot of football growing up, and my team is Paranormal Society of Savannah, and was lucky enough to get Flip to join. I had asked him, about a year ago? I was like, you never want to, join my team or whatever. And he's like, well, you never asked. I was like, okay, well. So, but I think I've seen him around 2 or 3 years at events and stuff, and then I would have events, and he would come to them, and I just never thought about it,
In honesty, you probably didn't leave.
I'm often
You
not thought
probably
about.
just hung out. What'd you
Yeah,
say?
I'm sorry. My camera's a little shaky here. I had to come to my sister's, and because the internet's out where we're at, and Verizon's been out like, hey,
Wow.
It's good for your step counter, though.
yeah.
Well, most people know you, Flip, from as long as you've been in the business and the shows and everything else. But give a rundown of the one and the only Mr. Flip Searles, as the ones who may not know you.
You can't know me that well because you keep having me back. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been investigating paranormal about 15, 16 years now. Patrick's right. I joined his team, which is rare for me because I hate teams. There's too much politics. There's too much BS going on. There's too much territorial. And I never did. The only team I was really on was one in Connecticut in my early days, Connecticut Spirit Investigators. And then I put a team together for Paranormal After Party. So Generic Black Shirt Group was a team, but only in the sense of that we're on the show.
Wow.
And now I'm here.
Yep. Well, you are a well-respected person in the field just by the means of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're kind of an EVP guru. Is that more something that that you have a really in touch with ability or maybe the equipment that you do?
I don't know if it's guru. It's just when I started, I tried doing everything. I mean, I had equipment this end, and EVPs and audio. It came naturally to me, and I find that that's my best evidence is audio evidence.
Right. Well, that's no doubt. Patrick, what about yourself as far as in your contribution with the team, as far as what you would say your if somebody said, one thing about Patrick, he's really good at when it comes to the paranormal, what would it be?
Probably, I don't know. I guess working with team members or something, because I've worked with other teams and stuff, and that's why I'm kind of doing my own thing. Some of the things they were doing, I was just like, oh man, they're too serious, or oh man, they get drunk before their investigations. I mean, all kind of things. What am I good at? I don't know, man. I'm still learning, and that's what I tell people is, we teach paranormal classes as well, just for beginners, and we tell them, listen, man, we're not experts. But we're going to teach you what we know, the basics. Because nobody taught us, and there was nobody out there willing to help us when we first started.
Right.
And I tell them, listen, you might learn something from me, or I might learn something from you. So I think having an open mind is probably going to be my best bet. I mean, I'm not like Flip. Flip is a genius when it comes to EVPs and stuff. We mess with each other a lot. But that's about it. You know what I mean? Just, I guess, having the patience with working with other people.
Well, that's a good thing to have nowadays because sadly, that's something an attribute that not everyone has, and that's not good.
And Patrick also knows when to get rid of people.
Yeah.
We will put that out there.
Yeah.
You mean out of the group?
Out of the yes.
Don't
And
incriminate
burying-
yourself on the
And
show.
burying
please.
bodies.
All right.
You'd think there wasn't room for more bodies in Savannah, but he finds spots.
Robin asked a really good question, and that's something that is like you've mentioned as far as the EBT. Robin, our sweetheart here of the show, asked, "Hey, Flip, what has been your best EVP?"
I think I know what you're going to say, and I think I know what I would say.
Oh, Kelly's got the goods.
That's like trying to pick your favorite child, and I don't like any of them. But if I had to go with one EVP, my favorite EVP was probably at the Shanley Hotel. After Sal had passed away, it was our first visit there. We were in his old apartment. And when I was first in there, I was in his old bedroom, and I was looking at some pictures on a little nightstand. And I felt the hand on my shoulder, and it just stayed there. I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. And later on, we were in his kitchen. I was with Ron Iacovetti, Lourdes Gonzalez. I think Anthony Simonelli was there. Just like 4 of us, maybe 5 of us. And I would always tell people how, Sal was the greatest host. If this was your first investigation, you were spoiled because he was such a gracious man. And, he really embraced the haunting of the Shanley Hotel. And as I said that, when we played it back, right after I said that about him, I heard "thank you." It wasn't a whisper; it was Sal's voice, and I'm getting choked up now thinking about it. And Ron actually asked me, he goes, "Are you okay?" And that's the first time during any EVP session somebody asked me if I was okay. So I guess I was, showing a little bit.
Wow, that's
my favorite. And when I do my lectures or I participate in Patrick's classes, I always close with that EVP because it's it's the one that meant the most to me.
Well, that is chilling because when we get those ones that are almost emotional, like "I love," or "I love you," or "thank you," or those ones that are to the heart, it's almost we're giving that to the ones we come to that location, maybe to help, or even for us as some sort of a closure to what maybe this person meant to you, or and then they tell you thank you. It really fuels you again to really put your heart and effort into the paranormal. And that's what I tell people a lot. Listen, if you don't have that just love for wanting to go out there and truly help people and do what we do, this is not bubble gum and candy wrap. This is something we do because we like to help people, and to get that, I would see where I would get choked up too, because
that brings. I'm sorry. That brings back around the thought of joining teams. For me to join a team, to join Patrick's team, you have to see why they're doing it, and their motives behind doing it. And Patrick, genuinely, he wants to help people. He wants to find answers. And so many of these teams, they're fighting to get on television. They're all fighting for something that's really not that great. From somebody that did it, it's not that great. But they're all fighting, clawing at each other, trying to surpass each other, and that's why I won't join them.
Well, and that's a great point, because how long really is that fame for the ones who do get to be on TV, and then maybe they last a year, then they want to go do these events and get paid and say, look, I was on the show. And then after that, it dwindles off because here comes the next best thing. So that can be like you say, an evil little taste of where the fame leads them. That then it's gone, and they did it for not the right reason. It was just for, like you said, the fame, the money that goes away, and then people are like, that person's not the same person. I remember a time when they used to do it to help people, and now they got to go do it on the TV, and now they're not even the same person. So
you have to have a passion for it. And
right,
the last EVP I got in the last investigation excites me as much as the first EVP I got. I still have that fire and that passion for doing this work.
And that's why when you get those calls for a residential, and you hear that maybe that, you know, and a sincere call, you know, for sure, that when you go and you realize there is an issue here, that you get to find some sort of resolve, and then these people are not scared anymore, or then you get that evidence to show them, hey, what you're experiencing was very real, and then you make them happy and not scared anymore. So that is something that's heartfelt, and I know most of the people who do it and care don't do it for money. They're like, no, I don't want to be paid. I'm here to help you, and that's it.
Well, I think that goes back to the intention that we talked about over and over and over
Exactly.
again. It goes back to the point of what you're actually trying to do. And I was going to go a different direction with flips.
Well, Keith mentioned money. Patrick, how many times have I accepted money?
None.
How many times is it offered?
A lot. A lot.
Yeah. I won't do it.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. A bottle of Jim Beam I might accept, but
yeah, they say, you know, I want to give you, you know, here's a little, you know, oh gee whiz, but you know, money and stuff. I'm like, look, we don't do it for that. It's not for that. And
you know, whenever we do it, a lot of people say, well, what is this going to cost me when they call? And I said, it's not going to cost you anything, you know. And so when we get down there, it's like, you sure I can't give you anything? I'm like, listen, if you want to make a donation or something, that'll help towards gas. Because sometimes, you know, it's an hour, 2 hours away or whatever. And I'm like, some gas, or how about you have any sodas or anything, you know? We just don't expect it. We don't ask. I just think it's one of those things. If you're there, I'm a Shriner. I'm a Freemason, a past master of my lodge, and I'm a Shriner for 25 years. Just got my 25-year pin. And you do it because you like helping people, you know, and you got to have some thick skin doing it too, because a lot of times, you know, you're going to get ridiculed, just like Shriners. You know, you're standing out there collecting money, people yelling at you to get a job and stuff. It's like, I have a job. But, you know, then the other things is, you know, with the paranormal, you've got, certainly living down deep south here in the Bible Belt, not so much as Savannah, but we've been to other places where, oh no, they think we're worshiping the devil or we're conjuring, you know, all that stuff. So
yeah, it's don't talk to the dead. Don't talk to the dead.
Yeah.
Well,
or they want to the Bible. You know, the Bible says this and the Bible says that. And I was like, well, if you followed everything that the Bible said, you'd probably be walking on water, because I don't know anybody that's going exactly by the Bible, because other than one man. So, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
so Robin has another good question, and she asks if a particular place that scared both of you.
Go first, Patrick.
Tell us that.
Hotel room. No, I'm kidding. So the scariest place I've ever been in, there's probably two, but the scariest place, there was a movie that came out called A Savannah Haunting last year. I happen to know the guy that owns the house and directed it and everything. He's a really cool guy. In a ton of movies. His name's Mark McCullough. And so he wrote, directed it, everything, starred in it. It's a really good movie. It's on Prime. So if you got Prime, you know, you can watch it.
How's that name you dropped?
What's that?
Here's that name you dropped.
But so before the movie and everything, he asked us to come out and see what we could pick up and stuff. And there was just tons of activity. I was just like, wow, you know, there were some things in there that scared me. One of them was upstairs to the left is this creepy bedroom, and there's a bathroom that leads around the corner. And we had been there like 3 hours, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the restroom. go to the restroom, come out, and I look over, and in the corner there's this rocking chair, and it's kind of rocking. I thought maybe somebody had sat in it or something and then left. So I was like, hey, I was like, just for fun, I was like, hey, if anybody's in that chair, can you make it rock faster? And nothing happened for about 5 seconds. I started to turn away, and it started rocking really fast. And I had a team member get shoved, and she fell face first in his kitchen floor. That's like marble tile or whatever. And I mean, she hurt herself pretty bad. If I wouldn't have been standing in front of her around the other side of the table, I wouldn't have believed it. But 2 or 3 of us saw it, and we were just amazed. One of the scariest things, though, was when we were leaving. We've investigated it 10 or 12 times, but we were doing a documentary that he's got coming out soon. And I was leaving, and something just told me, hey, look in the rearview mirror. So I just kind of looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the little girl standing up in the window. And so the next few investigations I did at the house, I don't look in the rearview mirror. I just look straight ahead when I'm leaving. I don't want to see anything. When I'm pulling in, I don't look up at the window. So.
Yeah, that's kind of like looking in your rearview mirror in your car, and all of a sudden you see somebody sitting back there like this, looking at you, and they didn't get in the car when you did, and they're also they're not talking to you. They're totally see-through. So then okay, did you want to come home with me? Is it something I said to you that you want to come home?
Yeah.
You gotta stay. There's no place. There's no room for you at my house.
Yeah, we call those, man, when we see stuff like that, man, we call it taking a spooky dookie, because you'll have to bring some extra drawers with you when you come to us to some houses, man, because it's a scary place.
That's a good. What makes Savannah?
Now hold on, Flip didn't answer.
Oh,
I think I know what he's going to say, so I want to hear
it. First, was that EVP your favorite EVP too?
No.
Oh.
I know that's what you were going to say, though, but mine was the one we got at Penhurst.
Oh,
that I always talk about.
Was that?
The one we got at Penhurst, the teen camp. We were in the basement.
What did it say?
The little kid. We were talking about how cool it was down in the basement, and there weren't any little kids with us. And at the end of the EVP, it just said, cold, like it was just chiming in, and that's the direction, Robin, I was going to go on Flip's comment, that I kept getting interrupted by these dudes. So the whole point was that, like, a lot of times for anybody who does EVPs, you get a lot of additional information just in daily conversation. So as you're talking to each other, you get those little bits, and like that's what you were kind of doing with Sal. You were acknowledging him aloud and talking to everybody else who maybe knew him, and getting those bits and pieces. And just Flip's great at getting EVPs like that. So, and thanks, Robin, for agreeing. That's my favorite EVP, I think. But we've gotten a lot that I really.
You've gotten tons. I mean, anyway, as far as being scared, I spent 25 years around really scary people, so it takes a lot on investigation to scare me. But if I had to pick one place where I was actually frightened, it was Bobby Mackey's. It was back in 2011. I was lucky enough to do it 2 nights in a row as a part of Shannon and Sylvia's event there. And we were up in Carl's apartment before they stopped letting people up there. And there's maybe like 6 or 7 of us. It was a public event, and I'm just sitting against the wall, and I'm running the recorder, and there's a little ambient light coming through Carl's bathroom window. And all of a sudden you see shadow people walking through, and the guy next to me nudges me. He goes, "Do you see that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I see it." It was like 3 or 4 of them. You could see their arms swinging and everything. And after they had passed through, my left hand, it felt sticky. And I turned on my flashlight to see what it was, and something had sliced me across these fingers, like the blood was running down. So that was pretty freaky. But what really scared me there, I think it was the second night, I went to use the restroom there, another bathroom story, but I used the restroom there, and how it's set up, there's a door and then a hallway that veers off to the right to the men's room. And that door, the first door, closed behind me, and I heard a voice mixed with a growl, and it sent shivers up my spine. And I'm in the bathroom, holding the flashlight like this while I'm checking my makeup. But it was scary. And that was the first public investigation, probably one of the only ones where people were running out of the building, getting in their cars and leaving. I mean, that's how intense that place was.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say a different one. I mean, I knew about that story, but I thought you were going to say a different one.
What was I going to say?
I thought you were going to say the one at St. Albans. In the
alcohol ward?
Yeah.
Which some weird stuff's happened down. Something almost lifted me off my feet in there.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh.
But that's another good place, like that place too, with the shadow people. When we went and Andy was there, and we were all sitting in there, and you could see these dark shadows just circling and dancing, like and there's no light, like it's darker than dark. Are you there? But yet, Patrick, did you go to St. Albans yet?
No, but I went to Bobby Mackey's, and I know the long hallway he's talking about that goes to the bathroom, and it's creepy. But whenever we went last August, and they didn't let you go upstairs anymore. They said it was too dangerous, and not because of any spirits or anything, but because I guess the roof was kind of hanging down and stuff or whatever. But we didn't get a whole lot when we were there, but we got one cool EVP. That was about it. We went down, with the hellhole or whatever, and just didn't get anything,
I'd find you can't go to the spots that everybody points out as being, all right, this is the most haunted spot or whatever. You have to go into a location and you let the location come to you. And you'll feel in the areas where at least I do, where I'm going to capture activity. And then sometimes I'm in an area like the alcohol ward at St. Albans, and Kelly makes me leave the area.
Because he says, I think I'm laughing because it took him it's taken you a long time to say, I feel that. And like Patrick, like it's taken him, he would say, that's your job. I don't do that. Like, I don't feel that stuff. And then we go into a place and he'd be like, okay, tell me when to stop. Where do you want to stop? Like, let's, based on what I feel. But now to hear you say it, I'm glad you're saying it, because you did always do that. You just didn't own it about yourself. But do you find, Patrick, that you have like sensitivities like that too, or are you more on the tech side of things?
No, I get a little sensitive. No psychic abilities, no empath, nothing like that. But I can usually walk into a place and go, oh yeah, I feel something, and I'm like, oh, I really want to investigate this spot, or something. Yeah, I've felt it. I felt, I get this little thing that goes up the side of my neck, and usually it'll tickle my ear, like little hairs on my ear, and I'll start rubbing sometimes on the camera, and people, I don't even know I'm doing it, and they're like, oh yeah, Patrick feels something, and so yeah, I feel it, especially when it gets a little cooler sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that sensitive to the point where I know who's in there or anything like that. I feel like the energy change. I feel, like a static in the air, and I know that's a good place to display my wares.
Yeah, or my chest gets kind of heavy, or I feel a little, not like I'm a puke, but I feel a little nauseous sometimes. That happens.
And as far as, you doing your events for teams and, people who are just kind of getting into investigation, could you each give anyone who's thinking of getting into it or is kind of a beginner just a tip, like your best tip as far as getting started?
Yeah. If you want to use equipment and stuff, borrow other people's first before you spend a lot of money. We teach our, the people that want to take our classes, listen, don't spend a bunch of money. Your best tool is going to be your phone. Your phone has everything that you pretty much need. You can download a couple apps, and we'll tell you, we tell them the ones that we like because, we've used them all. And then we tell them, hey, get your recorder, and then you can get you another camera if you want. And then we just kind of go on from there. It's just, I don't know. We try to have them not the same mistakes we did. Going on an investigation, we never thought to bring a first aid kit with us. We never thought to bring bug spray. We never thought, you're trying to carry all this stuff when you're going. And then we're like, hey, what if we get one of them fishing vests? It's got all these pockets we can put everything in, because you don't have to run back to headquarters. You don't have to run back to the car or whatever. So, we try to help them with these things. Make sure you bring some water, stay hydrated. Don't bring bubble gum, don't vape, all these little things that, you probably wouldn't think of. We try to do. We tell them, bring your little notepad, write it down, because a week from now, you're going to forget what actually happened. Write it down. Listen to your team members explaining what happened in this room or that room, and write it down. Try to document it. So that's what we try to do. There's a whole lot more that we do. Flip is really good too. He puts on a good presentation for us.
Did you pay him? You paid him. Like
Huh?
he paid you, Patrick, didn't he?
It was only $4.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I tell people that just starting out, go on the public events. That's how I started, and watch what other people do. Stand there, be quiet, watch what they're doing. Get involved if they ask you to get involved. But you're either going to learn what to do or you're going to learn what not to do. And to this day, I'm still learning what to do, what not to do at different events. Even now on the other side of it, where I'm running EVP sessions, I'm still watching what other people are doing. And if they're doing something wrong, I yell at them. Patrick knows that.
He yells.
I know.
Yells. Well, the only thing, no, there were several things. Always mark your stomach growling. That was the only thing you really yelled at me for too much.
Jewelry, perfume, stuff like that. Not so much you, but other people show up, and at public events, I realize these people are paying a lot of money to do this, so I want them to have the best time, and I'm not going to let one person ruin that time. Especially during the EVP session. I've had people. We're in the middle of a session. They turn on a spirit box. I yell at them. I yelled at a woman in her 70s once because she popped a hard candy in her mouth, which, all right, now that introduces a new aroma to the room. But then she had the cellophane wrapper, and she's just doing this with it in the corner. And all I hear is crackling. And I stopped the session. I'm like, what is that? And turned the light. Somebody turned the light on her. So, yeah, I yelled at the old lady.
The other thing, is go out with somebody that a team or something. Just ask them, hey, do you mind if I tag along? Or hey, you mind if I just kind of watch what you do? And that always helps. And sometimes, and then that's when we come in. Whenever people go, well, I can't find a team that'll let me tag along or whatever. There's some teams like that. And I'm like, well, come on with us, or hey, take our class. And then usually we go on an investigation. So let's do that. That way they know the equipment. You're not explaining it 10 times to 10 different people. That's why we like having the class before we do, like when we do events to a big place, because there's a lot of people that they see it on TV, but they don't know what it is. And we tell them, listen, that stuff on TV, man, they fake all that. And we show them how to fake it. And we're like, don't fake it, because the minute you fake it, your credibility is gone. We tell our team members, you get one warning, and it's right here. I'm telling you right now, if you fake anything, you're gone. It's no big deal, because we're not going to say Flip fakes his evidence. Paranormal Society fakes their evidence. They're going to say, that the whole team. So there you go. There goes your credibility. So you want to make sure you're doing all that. And he's right.
Yeah. Eric has a good question. He said, what's your longest investigation?
For me, back when we were doing the show, we filmed a town. It was Rowland, PA. And we were up there, I think 3 or 4 nights. We started with a town hall meeting where we went in, told people what we're going to do. And, they expressed their concerns or asked their questions. I think we did 4 or 5 locations there over the course of, maybe it was 3 nights. So that was probably the longest.
Did you do houses in the town or businesses or outdoors?
I think there was a business, a couple of houses. I mean, this is years ago. I'd have to go back and watch it.
Patrick, what about you?
Oh, me? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I don't know. When we first started, it was me and my dad, my brother-in-law, and one of my best friends that I grew up with. We would get up at 5 or 6 in the morning. We'd all pile in the truck, put our equipment in the back, and just we would already have a map that we had mapped out that week of where we're going, and we would haul boogie up there. Say like we're in Savannah, we'd go up to like Perry, Georgia, which is about 2 hours away, and we'll say, okay, let's hit the Devil's Bridge, let's hit Ghost Road, whatever, blah blah blah, and we would hit all these places, come back, any little battlefields that we could get in or whatever, we would try to hit those on the way back. We'd come home 12, 1 in the morning, just with a paranormal hangover because we're having so much fun. And to me, those were the longest, but the most fun. Now, we've done overnights and things, but I really don't consider those. But I think that driving around, for 12, 14 hours or whatever, hitting all these spots, that was probably the longest.
You see, but some people will brag, oh, we did an 18-hour investigation, we did this, we did that. You can only investigate as long as the spirits are going to interact with you. And when they decide that they're shutting down and it gets silent, there's going to be nothing else. And that's happened to me at 5 in the morning. It's happened to me at 11 o'clock at night on an all-night investigation. And there comes a time where they have enough. And they're like, that's it.
We tell people at our events, listen, we can't make these things happen. We can't make them talk to you or whatever. And I tell them it's like this. I say, hey, you guys like to go fishing? And they're like, yeah, we love to go fishing. I'm like, you ever went fishing and didn't catch anything? Like you didn't even get a nibble or nothing, and you kind of got skunked. But what happens? You keep going back, and you might not go to that place, but you go to another place, and that's what I compare it to is kind of like fishing. Okay, they're not biting here, I'm not getting anything. Let's try over here, at this location or whatever. And then come back later on and maybe, hey, there's something there. So just don't give up. Just keep going at it, man.
You must be teaching Flip some things, Patrick.
Flip, I tried.
You told me how to pick a good Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Well,
him and mom.
Because he would be the one that would say, I'd say like, oh, it's getting like quiet in here, and he's like, let's just stay a little bit longer. Let's just see if we can get a little bit of something else. I'm like, it's time to go. So he does listen. Just takes many years.
Yeah. I like going to like cons and stuff with Flip. Usually my wife will tag along to those. She don't like to go. She doesn't go paranormal on with me. She's like, Patrick, don't bring nothing home. I'm like, I'm going ghost hunting. I'm not going to a whorehouse. I'm like, so some, what I mean? I'm like, we're going ghost. But now cons, she's like, is Flip going to be there? Yep. Tell him I'm going to sit right next to him. They are just fun, at cons. So it makes time go by fast, especially when the hours are dragging by at cons. So.
The cons are a good release from doing the investigations. But when we're there, we handwrite signs saying, tell us your ghost story.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a whole lot of coaxing. People will come up and they start talking, and some of the cons we do, they're like horror. They're not strictly paranormal. They're horror cons or comic cons and stuff like that. But, it seems like most people have their story. You just got to, give them the opportunity to tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin asks if you've ever feel that you've brought home an attachment.
I've been followed home 3 times. Of 4, my brother.
I will tell you guys this. There's we talked about TV shows. There's a show coming out in October, and I can't really say anything about it yet, but it's why I kind of got involved. And every time, but I'll tell you real quick, my great-grandfather was one of the meanest men in Telfair County, and he came and would visit me when I was a little boy, and I asked my grandpa, why do you come scare me? He's like, I won't scare you. And he said, what did he look like? And I described him, and he said, you described my dad. And I said, well, where is he? And he said, well, he's been dead like 60 years. And I said, well, how'd he die? He said, my brother shot him 6 times in the back of his head. And so getting older, and when I became a teenager, we went way out in the woods in Telfair County, where his brother Jack was way meaner than my great grandpa. He was so mean. He came home Christmas Eve, drunk off moonshine, beat his wife. She ran back home, and the stepsons came back with her daddy, and cut his head off and burned his body with the whole house and burned it down. But they couldn't prove it. And the other thing is, my great grandpa, they were all cousins of the sheriff. So when the sheriff came over, he just took the hat, sat on a thick post, and shot through it and said self-defense. So when we were out there at the woods, when I was like 13 or 14, my great uncle Jack followed me home, and he would, really scared the crap out of me. And to this day, every time when I go back there, he follows me home, and I don't know why. I'll wake up in the middle of the night thinking, it's my wife or one of my cats, and it's him standing there, and it just scares the crap out of me. He doesn't hurt me or nothing, but it's just him standing there just staring at me, with these black eyes. So, yeah.
Wow, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a really good, you have to include that in a book you write. That story, Patrick. If you write a book, you should include that too.
Cool.
Yeah. What's next for you guys? Like, what events do you have coming up, or what are you doing? Like, or do you have any more workshops for new investigators? What do you think?
Yeah, we're trying to put together some events. We kind of do this one thing. It's called the Haunted History and Mysteries Tour, where we kind of go to like bed and breakfasts or place like that. Like we went to Plains, Georgia. We went to Plains, Georgia, Washington, Georgia. The Fitzpatrick Hotel, where we'll have events and then we'll investigate. So we kind of do those things, but then we also do stuff on our own. In October, starting the second week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll be investigating a Grayface Museum downtown Savannah.
If you don't know what that is, look it up on YouTube. It's an awesome place.
Yeah, he's got the world's largest John Wayne Gacy memorabilia, paintings, letters, everything, you name it. And he's got all this other stuff. And the location is already crazy haunted because, it's downtown Savannah, 1730s, whenever Savannah was founded down there. So all that is way creepy. So we got that going on. On the 12th, the 13th, I'm sorry. On the 13th of October, we'll be in Marion, South Carolina at the Holiday House, hosting an event there, ghost hunt and tours and things. So we'll be there. And then the following week after that, we'll be in Abbeville, South Carolina at the Belmont Hotel, investigating there, as well as the Long King Indian Massacre site, and probably several other places around there. So we got a kind of a full plate. I'm kind of leaving the last weekend open for October. Being a Shriner, I was hosting the Haunted House. I was the chairman for like 20 plus years. And I finally gave it up last year. I was like, this is my last year, guys. I've got so much other stuff going on. But I've had some other people reach out, wanting to build little haunts and help them out. So I'm going to kind of help consult them because they're raising money for good things like animals and cancer and stuff. So that's where my heart is. So I'll be helping with some of that. But also my birthday's the day before Halloween. So we do all kind of stuff. We try to hit up all the spooky stuff we can.
And you forgot on, was it the 4th or the 5th? The 5th, we're going to
The
the
5th,
jail.
we're going to the old Bleckley County Jail in Cochran, Georgia. It's near Perry, Georgia, right outside, it's south of Macon. So, the old Bleckley County Jail. It's got some good spirits in there. I've investigated it earlier in February and got so much evidence. I was like, hey guys, how about we go out there and check it out? So we're going to go out there and spend a night in there and investigate as well. So
nice. Now, are those public investigations? Like, people can join you, they can get tickets somewhere, that kind of thing?
Yeah, all that stuff is starting to come up online. Today, we just put out there the tickets for Grayface for the investigation. they can go to our Facebook page, Paranormal Society of Savannah, or there's going to be on other links as well as TikTok and everything. I'm not a TikTok person, but
because we're adults.
yeah. Yeah. So, but those tickets will be there for the Gray Face Investigations. That's going to be every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, leading all the way up to almost Halloween. So, yeah, it's going to be a great thing. They can get tickets there. The Cochran, Georgia is going to be a private thing for team members for us going. But we might have a couple of spots if somebody out there really wants to go, just send us a message. And then the
Holiday House.
Yeah, the Holiday House. The tickets will be online tomorrow, so they can buy tickets there as well. It used to be an old funeral home.
Oh, wow. Nice.
It'll be my first time there. I know Patrick's been there before, but I'm looking forward to it.
Hi, George.
Hey, George.
Hi, George.
So I got a question for the both of you, and it's and so just Flip.
Yes.
Have you ever had a spirit that you had investigated a location a couple of times or multiple times, and you asked the question, can you tell me who's speaking to you now? And they said your name.
Maybe, let me think. Back when we were filming, it was probably around season 5 or season 6. If you watch some of those episodes, half the team will be in a part of a building and I'm in the other part, and they'll start asking them for me. They'll say, "Where's Flip?" Or, we want to speak to Flip. And I have to go from one end to the other.
Wow.
I get my name almost every location. It'll come up on some piece of equipment.
We also get his name at teen camp when he's not there, states away.
They
Wow.
remember.
So so Patrick, what about yourself, that you've been somewhere and you multiple times, and then you're just hello, and then you ask that question, we're here. Thank you for letting us come to your humble abode. Can you tell me who's talking to you now? And they said, it's Patrick, or hi, Patrick.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
There's been some investigations where it said my name, where we'll say, hey, can you tell us how many people are in the room? And it'll say 4. And then we'll kind of look around and yeah, there's 4. It's like,
or hey, who just walked in the room? And David and Patrick.
Yeah, like, can you say anybody's name? And it'll be like, Patrick, and or some other names as well. The creepiest thing that's ever happened is we were in Plains, Georgia, right outside of Americus, and it's called Three Bridges Road. This person, he was really young guy, and he committed suicide out there. He's probably 22, 23. We were going out there not because of that, but because they said how haunted the bridge is. We had no idea that something was going on. We had ran into a couple at like a convenience store, and they were like, oh, because on the side we have little magnets that say Paranormal Investigator. And they said, where are you going? And we said, well, we're going to go out to Three Bridges Road. And the lady said, well, can we go? And I was like, yeah, why? Yeah, it's cool. And she said, well, the reason why is because my brother committed suicide out there. We had no idea. And so we was like, yeah, absolutely. So we're going out there. She gives us a call and says, my dad wants to come along. Is it okay? And my other brother and sister. I said, absolutely, come on. And then so I got another phone call when we're almost out there, and it's the father. And he says, listen, all I want to do is come out there and give the story straight, because some jackass came out doing a YouTube video, didn't have all the facts of why he did it and this and this and this and whatever, and was full of crap, and was doing all this equipment things, and he said it was all crap. So, yeah, absolutely. So we come out and we've got the spirit box going and everything, and we're asking questions. The craziest thing is the dad said, "Can I ask a question?" We said, like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, if this is you, can you tell us your nickname?" And it was just quiet. And then one of the sisters said, "Tell us your nickname." And it said like Bug. And it said Bug, Bug, Bug. And it said it like 4 times. And the dad broke down crying. The girls started just a crying. And then when they were asking questions, it was answering just like that. She said, "Can you say my name?" And it said her name. And I mean, it was phenomenal. It was the best 3 or 4 minutes, I think, investigating something like that we ever did, and brought them some peace of mind, because they got to ask a few other questions, personal questions that I'm not going to mention, and they were just so satisfied. And every now and then, we always check up on a lot of these cases that we do. Hey, how's it going? Everything okay? Especially if it involves little kids or something.
Right.
And, so yeah, that was one of the creepiest things. They asked for a nickname, and he said it. And so when we looked down, they started breaking down the crime. And one of my teammates said, "Is that his name, the nickname?" And shook his head. Yes. Yep.
The easiest way to get them to say your name is make sure you introduce yourself when you start doing your sessions.
Yeah.
When I run the public sessions, say it's a group of 6 or 7 people, I have everyone say their name and a little bit of pause, and the next person, and not only to have their names on there, but you also have their voices in case, when you're reviewing it, you could pick out certain people. But introduce yourself. It's common courtesy, and that's an ITC tip for free, which I don't give you.
Yep, it is about respect, because with these spirits of whatever way that they've passed, we may not know that, but we certainly say, I hope where you're at, you're happy and you're with your loved ones, and we come in respect every time, because we'll all be there one day, and we can only hope others will treat us the same way. So
you have to remember you're in their space,
exactly.
and you have to act like you're walking into someone's home the same way you would act there.
So
what do you see? What do you both see as one of the token mistakes that?
Good question, Kelly.
Provoking.
Yeah.
Provoking is one of the stupidest things you can do, because they see, Zach and them guys do it and then run away. But it's one of those things where we tell people we don't provoke these things or whatever. So that's a simple mistake. The other one is probably talking too fast when they're trying to do an EVP session, right? They're not giving the spirits enough time to answer. So when they're trying to answer, they've already asked another question or something. Before you know it, they're talking over whatever they're trying to get. And when they go back, they're not getting anything, or either they're walking around with it. It's like, I'm
just laughing because that's a flip tip too. If that's something he has commented, that's why I'm laughing.
Your flip tip of the week is?
No, I would say people trying to do too much at once, or solely relying on their equipment. They're not getting the full effect of the investigation when you're looking through a little 2-inch viewfinder. I've had my daughter investigating with me since she was 12, and she got to the point probably in her late teens where we would go out and do an investigation or filming, and I'd say, "All right, what equipment do you want to take?" And she got to the point where she's like, "You know what? I don't want to take any equipment. I want to experience the haunting. I want to feel the haunting." So that's my tip. Don't try to do too much. Like I said, when I first started, I tried, everything, cameras running, this meter over there, K2 over there, tripwire over here.
Yeah.
Don't. Now, if I have my way, I go to an investigation. Where is it? Hang on. This is the bag I bring. Unless it's a public event and I have to bring other stuff. I just want to bring recorders, a spirit box, a good speaker, some batteries, and maybe some beef jerky.
Yeah. And that's and people have asked me as well, that with the amount of equipment I have, I say, honestly, I'll tell you what you need. It's auditory, visual, and an interactive device. Well, just an EDI that's out there. Then you lay down your voice recorder, and you can have a camera. And I tell people, they say with pictures, I say, look, try to take purposeless pictures. Don't just sit there in front of you and do this. Sit and then turn around and take one maybe that's down a hallway real quick. Sit there and then they're talking to them and then turn over here to this side. Because how many times have we had it where the shy spirits might be somewhere just off to, and they're talking to us. We're getting interactions and they're not right out in front of us waving. They're somewhere, close by. And we may get that partial half apparition or a face and you got to understand where they may be shy. Hello, people don't come there every day into their space. So they're like, okay, well, I don't know you and you don't really know me, but okay, hi, I'll start to talk to you. So try to take it to where you're loose, but you take those pictures and other little spaces. Have the recorder, but when you're doing that, be respectful and just ask things that don't ask something like, well, how did you die? Oh wow, were you ran over? Oh, was your head cracked? I mean, that's not we know they passed, but getting into those gruesome details, they're like, I'm not going to tell you that. That's I was ran over. I don't want to talk about that.
And from a spirit perspective, at least from what I do, I find that sometimes not only are we only given what we're meant to know,
right?
Oftentimes we're only given what we're meant to be able to connect to the loved ones who need the message. So if it's not relevant to someone in the group, it's like, you're trying to reach, some celebrity who's passed, but that celebrity has no connection to you. So it's not that you're doing it with the right intention of then connecting to their family for them or making that connection to validate some information or a story about them. So sometimes spirit is selective because that's not a detail for you to know, nor does it matter. And I think that's where going back to that, like approachable nature, respect, intention, all of those things that we've already talked about, I think really adds to the investigation, at least from the spiritual side of things.
And really, you don't need a lot of, we got just about everything you could think of, when we work. And I don't even take a third of it anymore.
Right.
I like taking these trigger objects with us. Like when we did Grove Point Plantation, it was owned by the Mercers. Johnny Mercer wrote all those great songs in the Moon River and all that. When we were there, we would play some Johnny Mercer music, just real low, and we were getting great responses. And then if there's, hey, this guy, he loved, whiskey, he loved cigars, just kind of have that stuff as a trigger object. Little things like that is what we do. We try to offer it so that, hey, maybe it'll communicate with us.
I'm a big fan of it because I fry equipment, as Flip knows, but I also don't know how to use it. That too, but I'm a big fan of the Dollar Tree method of investigation, where you have like balloons and feathers and baby powder and a desk bell and all the things that are pretty safe as far as first time investigation, and using them, integrating them, and they're such visual things that I think they're very impactful and a lot of times, affordable. Plus, if you pair it with the technology as far as a camera and that kind of thing, you have an extra sense of, or an extra item for your validation, really. But
some of the things are so cheap. We've got a little motion activated car. So, if you walk in front or anything's in front of it, it'll move. It'll follow it all around. I think it's like $15 on Amazon. Those little things are cool to us. Besides doing Estes method, you come up with little cool ways, like you said, the Dollar Tree. We went there, got the balloons, put a little light in it. We were at Waverly.
Yes, your wife says cat balls. Yes,
you
can get those on Amazon real cheap.
That's my wife. Don't listen to her. No, I'm kidding.
She knows what she's talking about.
Oh,
Careful.
is she on? I blocked her.
Yeah, blocker.
Oh yeah, Robin. That's right. And also, when Jeff was on the first time he was on our show, he showed us, because that's what he does is create equipment. He showed us that actually you can get larger, like motion activated dog size balls from the internet, and you can hotwire them to be extra sensitive. So they're a little bit more easy to manipulate if you're tailoring your equipment than the cat. That's
Cool.
more. But your wife has
Write that down, Patrick. Dog balls.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, Tiffany is. Yeah. We were at Grave Face Thursday because we were working out little details, and then my marketing person, she never been, and this is all new to her. She's like, "You mind if I accompany you?" I was like, "Yeah." So we were about to leave. We're kind of walking down one hall, and Tiffany was behind me, and the marketing person was behind her, and something kicked my heel, and I thought it was Tiffany, messing around. I turned around and I was falling forward. I turned around and looked at her. I go, why'd you do that? And she's like, what? I said, did you kick the bottom of my heel? And she said, no. And she said, I saw you like fall forward. I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, yeah, so I forgot all about that until she just mentioned it.
All the more reason to buy tickets to that event if you can get people there to experience those certain things by themselves. And
I'm getting there super early because I want to walk around and see some of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, how can everybody follow you guys online? I know, like, between your team page and Flip Your Business page, make sure to share with that all that information if you get a chance.
Go ahead, Patrick. Run it down.
So besides following us, Paranormal Society of Savannah, you can go to our website, which is being revamped. So I know it might look a little funky right now, but we've had it like 2 years, so we're updating it. www.savannahscare.com. You can go there, and all of our sites are on there and contact information. You can email us at psofsav@yahoo.com. That's just Paranormal Society of Savannah, abbreviated psofsav@yahoo.com. Or, send us a message. What we answer. We might not answer right away, but we'll answer you within 24 hours.
What?
You can find me at all the events Patrick mentioned before, because I'm just glad to be invited. And then I'm also slinging my T-shirts. Where am I going to be? October 26th, I'll be at the Gilchrist Ghoul Fest down in Trenton, Florida. Mm-hmm. And the week after that, I'll be at the Fitzpatrick Hotel in Washington, Georgia. And I design shirts, like cool shirts like this. I used to have a great Talking Tech Paranormal shirt, but then Kelly did the laundry once and destroyed it.
I didn't do it. It was a defect.
I think that's how she gets out of doing laundry.
That's funny.
Maybe. I don't know.
I did that as a kid. Every time my mother asked me to do the dishes, I would just do them bad, and then she stopped asking me.
It's not a bad theory, actually. Yep. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight, coming on, telling us all about yourselves and what you're up to, and hanging out with us for the hour. We appreciate it. And now we all have to road trip south to some of these events, because it sounds like, at least from what I'm being told behind the scenes, it sounds like these places are really welcoming your team, and they like the way you all go about things, that you're being invited back and you're being welcomed into places maybe you hadn't been before, other teams hadn't been. So I think that speaks very highly of the methods and morals that you use when you're investigating. So congratulations on that.
Well, thanks. Yeah, anywhere you go, we teach our team members and everybody, listen, be respectful, be nice. Even if they're mean to you, be nice, because you're in their town or their, facility. Also, give back. So say we do an event, and, we might donate, a little bit of money to an animal shelter or something local. Eat local. Don't go to McDonald's and all that stuff. Go to these little places, because number one, you're going to hear some great stories. people are going to say, you know, you can ask the waiters or waitresses or whatever, the people in there that are eating, hey, any cool, you know, ghost stories around here or whatever. But give local, visit the little shops, go to the little bookstores, the little delis and things, give back. And that's what we do. And I think that's why they keep inviting us to come back.
And you might get recognized like, hey, weren't you on Talking Tech Paranormal?
You know, that's just, you know, well, that'd be the dog. He would be recognized. Little mascot there.
I don't think I've ever been that comfortable as that dog looks right now.
I've had him since he was a little baby, so I'm his daddy.
Mm. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you coming on and, you know, spending some time with us here on Monday night. We greatly appreciate that. And we'll have to have you back after some of your events and see how they went and check in and maybe bring some more of your team members back as well.
Yes.
Nice.
Ooh, is there a panel in the future? Oh,
Maybe. It's been discussed.
panel.
We will see. It's been
A
discussed.
panel.
But yeah. Thank you both very much. And I think we'll all peace out because there's a little, you know, for anybody who's interested in Flip's wide array of T-shirts on his site. First of all, I noticed at least 6 new designs from the last class on there. So
6 new ones in the past 4 days.
all the cryptid cons, there's a lot of cryptid theme ones. So make sure that you check it out. I'll post the information at the end.
Well, Patrick introduced me to the Lizard Man Stomp this year, so there's a lot of Lizard Man designs on there.
Fun.
Yeah.
I love cryptids. Bigfoot, Mothman, Lizard Man, all that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both. And please come back and join us again, of course. And hopefully we'll all get to meet up in the closer to your direction. But Keith will have to be the one to come north in that.
South.
Yeah.
He just has to come over.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Oh.
Now that I'm alive.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, thank you guys very much. And
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
Say peace, Petey.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye. Oh.
Dang.